What happens when a guy who can literally imagine anything into existence fights a guy whose only solution to any problem is to cut it harder? You get one of the most insane reality breaking and downright hilarious fights in all of anime. Today, we're breaking down the legendary battle between the unstoppable force Kenpachi Zaraki and the immovable imagination Remy. This isn't just a power scaling debate. This is a philosophical cage match where the winner is decided by who is more stubbornly, terrifyingly real. Let's get into it. So, to understand why this fight is so legendary, we need to know who's stepping into the ring. And trust me, normal is not a word in either of their vocabularies. First up, we have our boy Kenpachi Zaraki. But this isn't the same Kenpachi who just brute force his way through the Soul Society arc. Oh no, this is Kenpachi upgraded. Right before this fight, he went through the most brutal therapy session of all time with the original Kenpachi, Retsu Unohana. The whole point of their duel to the death was for Unohana to systematically kill him and revive him over and over to shatter the mental blocks he'd put on himself since he was a kid. See, Kenpachi was so absurdly strong even as a child that he was terrified. He'd never have a good fight again, so he subconsciously nerfed himself for centuries. He wore an eye patch that eats most of his spiritual pressure, put bells in his hair so you could hear him coming. And most importantly, he refused to learn the name of his own sword. By killing Unohana, he finally broke those last chains and for the first time heard the name of his Zanpakuto. The man who shows up to fight Grimmy is, for all intents and purposes, the real Kenpachi Zaraki, fully unlocked and ready to prove why he holds the title of the Soul Society's biggest monster. And his opponent, Stern Ritter V, the visionary Grimmy. This guy is, without a doubt, the most broken character in the Quincy army. Maybe even the whole series. His power is simple. Whatever he imagines becomes reality. If he imagines your bones are made of cookies, you're suddenly the world's most fragile gingerbread man. If he imagines a meteor, well, you get a meteor. He's basically a bored kid with the admin commands in a video game. And he's about to meet the one player who refuses to follow the rules. Now, Grimmy's true form isn't the pretty boy we see. He literally just a disembodied brain in a jar. His power was so out of control that the Quincy King, Yuha Bak, had to keep him locked up. This is his first real time off the leash, which explains his fatal flaw. He's arrogant, childish, and has zero actual fighting experience. And let's be clear, first we have to clear up a popular fan theory right now. No, Grimmy is not the brain of the Soul King. The light novels explicitly state that while other Quincy are parts of the Soul King, Grimmy is his own unique weird brain in a jar self. And that's important because his defeat isn't a god failing. It's a mortal mind collapsing because it tried to comprehend the illogical beast that Kenpachi Zaraki is. The fight kicks off with Grimmy creating a giant stone arena because he thinks this is a performance. He tells Kenpachi, "I've imagined my body is harder than steel." Kenpachi just swings his sword and cuts him anyway. His response is legendary. "You should have mentioned it sooner. Then I would have planned to cut steel from the start." This is the whole fight in a nutshell. Grimmy imagines a rule and Kenpachi's reality is simply stronger. Grimmy, now slightly annoyed, starts throwing the kitchen sink at him. He summons lava, traps Kenpachi in a giant cube of water, and tries to crush him with rocks. Kenpachi just walks through it all, like it's a minor inconvenience. He's not impressed. Grimmy is using textbook powerful attacks against a man who eats textbook for breakfast. So, Grimmy decides to stop playing around. He creates a clone of himself, which he says doubles his imaginative power and summons a meteor. Not a big rock, a literal extinction level goodbye Soul Society meteor. In his mind, he's created an absolute and unstoppable force. He's already imagined himself as the sole survivor. And this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Kenpachi looks up at the planet killer and for the first time ever, unleashes his Shikai. He yells, "Drink, Norizashi." His beat-up katana transforms into a massive, brutal cleaver axe that looks like it was made to split mountains. With his eye patch still on, and using only one arm, he swings, and in one clean hit, he shatters the meteor into a million pieces. This is the moment Grimmy's brain breaks. He imagined the ultimate attack, and Kenpachi just heard it. The impossible just happened, and Grimmy's entire worldview is shattered. The confidence is gone, replaced by pure, undiluted fear. Panicking, Grimmy tries a new tactic. He traps Kenpachi in a pocket dimension that perfectly replicates the vacuum of outer space. A brilliant move, actually. You can't block a vacuum with a sword. Kenpachi's organs start to rupture and it looks like it's over. But then, in a moment that defies all logic, Kenpachi just cuts his way out of space. Like, for real, bro. He treats the fabric of reality like it's another chump who looked at him funny. And that's it. Game over for Grimmy's sanity. In his mind, Kenpachi is no longer a man. He's a monster, an illogical glitch in the matrix that his imagination can't process. So, how does Grimmy actually lose? Well, in the most ironic way possible, he thinks too hard. In his final desperate move, Grimmy tries to imagine himself with power equal to the monster in front of him. But here's the problem. He has already accepted that Kenpachi is an unbeatable, illogical force of nature. So while he successfully imagines Kenpachi's power, his brain, still bound by the laws of physics, can't imagine a body that can possibly contain that much power without exploding. His own ability faithfully recreates Kenpachi's immense spiritual pressure inside his imagined body. And that same body immediately begins to crack and tear itself apart from the inside out. He literally imagined himself to death. Kenpachi didn't even need to land the final blow. Grimmy's own power, confronted with a reality more absolute than any fiction it could create, committed suicide. There's a fan theory that Grimmy's power actually brings the imagination of everyone nearby to life. If that's true, the fight was a battle of wills. Grimmy imagined meteors and vacuums, but his imagination was tainted with fear and doubt. Kenpachi's imagination is brutally simple. I am the strongest, and there is nothing I can't cut. In that contest, Kenpachi's unwavering belief simply overrode Grimmy's faltering one. Kenpachi's victory solidifies his status as one of the 5 special war powers, a major threat to the Quincy's invasion. He's the Soul Society's answer to all the weird reality-bending hacks abilities the enemy has. But the win came at a cost. Tanking a meteor and getting space left him with severe internal injuries. He was completely exhausted, which is why he gets jumped and defeated by Candace Catnip and her crew moments later. A scene that made a lot of fans angry, but makes perfect sense when you realize he just fought a guy who weaponized the universe against him. Now, for you anime-only watchers, you might have felt this fight was a little quick. And you're not wrong, the anime condensed about 9 manga chapters into one 20-minute episode. While the animation was gorgeous, that meteor scene was pure cinematic hype. It lost some of the manga tension. The biggest cut was the reaction shots from the other Quincy's. In the manga, we see powerful characters like Hashwal and Askin looking up at the meteor in pure terror. It sold the scale of the threat. Without those, the anime made a world-ending event feel a bit more like a personal grudge match. A spectacular one, but a contained one. Ultimately, the battle between Kenpachi and Grimmy is a masterclass in storytelling. It's a fight of concepts, a clash between the tangible and the imaginary. Grimmy, a boy with the power to create anything, was defeated by a man who is so completely unshakably himself that he becomes an unbreakable reality. It's a powerful statement, an imagination that doesn't truly believe in itself is just a fantasy. And a fantasy can always be shattered by a big enough sword. What did you think of this legendary fight, though? Did the anime do it justice? Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on our next deep dive. Thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all on another one. Seemlytuber out. Peace.